Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you guys today? I hope you guys have a good day and always healthy because I think that is the most important thing for right now. First of all, I would like to thank you to Ma'am Sri Rahayu M. Biomed as the lecturer for this class. And I would like to thank you to all of you for giving me the opportunity to tell about my presentations. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kirana Amelia. My student ID number is 130862047, and I'm a student at State University of Jakarta. In this opportunity, I would like to talk about HIV vaccine, and the purpose of my presentation is to inform all of you about HIV vaccines and why is there no HIV vaccine until right now. So my presentation will take about 5 until 6 minutes, and I have divided my talk into 4 points. If you have any questions, I will be glad if you address them at the end of my presentations. Let me start with the first point. What is HIV? HIV, or human immunodeficiency virus, is a virus that attacks cells that help the body fight infections, making a person more vulnerable to other infections and diseases. The human body can get rid of HIV, and no effective HIV cure exists. So, once you have HIV, you have it for life. Next, we're gonna talking about HIV AIDS history. HIV started in the 1980s in the United States of America, or USA. In 1981, a few cases of rare diseases were being reported among gay men in New York and California. At first, the disease was called all sorts of names relating to the word gay. It wasn't until mid-1982 that scientists realized that the disease was also spreading among other populations, such as hemophiliacs and heroin users. By September that year, the disease was finally named AIDS. Since the first recognized cases of the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS, came to light in the early 1980s, and the discovery of the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, soon after, HIV/AIDS has become a leading cause of mortality and morbidity worldwide. But until right now, we still don't know and we still don't have vaccines to prevent it. There are a lot of researches being carried out in regard to the issue of HIV vaccines because it has become bigger and bigger issues in every situation. A lot of people want to know why there is no vaccine for HIV, which HIV is one of the dangerous viruses in this world. Even before the pandemic of COVID-19 has started, HIV has invaded the world and caused many negative impacts. Next, we're gonna talking about the main topics of these presentations, which is the reasons why is there no HIV vaccine until right now. There are some of the reasons of the absence of HIV/AIDS vaccines. The first one is because the characteristic of the virus itself. Well, HIV virus mutates very rapidly, leading to many changes in the envelope proteins within a short time span. Because of the virus mutates with a short time span, it makes a difficult moving target for a vaccine. And then for the second reason is because the lack of natural immunity to HIV. Unlike the other diseases such as measles or chickenpox, no one naturally recovers from infections with HIV. Without a model for natural immunity, researchers do not have a way to identify an immune response that would be effective against HIV. And thus developing an HIV vaccine is much more difficult. And for another reason is there are no significant large populations with well-defined resistance to HIV infections, and thus no immune parameters have been identified that correlate with protection. For the last one is because the lack of an animal's models that reliably predicts vaccines efficiency in humans. Animals models are an important tool in understanding the basic pathway of infections and immune system response in most diseases as well as in vaccine research. But unfortunately, there is no reliable non-human animals models for HIV infections and immune system response. Next, for the last topics, which is how to protect yourself from HIV. Protecting yourself from HIV begins with understanding how the virus is spread. The virus can be passed in only certain ways. First, during sex with a person infected with HIV, by sharing a contaminated needle, such as through illicit drug use, from HIV mother to child, either during pregnancy, labor, or breastfeeding, and the last one, through a contaminated blood transfusions. I think that's enough for my presentations. I would be glad if you have any questions for my presentations, and I'm gonna answer in the sessions of the question and answer. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And here's the reference that I used for my presentations. Thank you.